Hi, Roberto. Welcome back to the podcast.
Great. It's a pleasure to be back on this podcast.
Fantastic. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you work?
So I'm an internal research fellow. It's like a postdoc position. So I'm a researcher, and I work in the PhilLabs in ESRIN, which is the research center in Frascati of the
Hmm.
European Space Agency.
Brilliant. And you've been involved in a number of different projects, but today we're going to talk about PhiDown. Why don't you give us the intro to that?
Well, FIDAM is mostly an answer, okay? An answer to many people that wanted to access lots and lots of data at different levels and had a little bit of problem interfacing with the Copernicus data space ecosystem API.
Right.
So many people come at me and to my colleagues asking for a solution to this problem. And I will always reminding them that there is this API that existing, that were already existing,
Hmm.
but they were a bit complex to use. So CDown is simply a wrapper around that API that allows people to use the OData API, but without the struggle of learning how to use the OData API.
Right. So the struggles were what, authentication or something like that?
But it's mostly related to the documentation and go through it, understand how does it work, the OData API scheme, how to set the parameters correctly, and
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Right. So PhiDown is a tool written to interface with their API, which greatly simplifies the use of it.
Yeah, exactly. And most importantly, is built with the S5 protocol, which is
Hmm.
new and allows people to download the data in a very fast and efficient way. It's very made up to be simple and to scale up your productivity.
Right, I'd love to learn a bit more about that. It sounds a bit like S3, but it's obviously something different.
Yeah, it is derived from S3, actually. Is the new protocol, which is like a bit 5, 10 times more faster than S3.
Right, okay. And so is that a back-end implementation or is that something that impacts people using the tool?
It's just something that empowering people to use the S5 through the Copernicus data space ecosystem.
Hmm. Okay. And digging into the functionality of the tool, how does it compare to other tools that I already know about, like Google Earth Engine or Stack?
And that's a good point. This is a question that is mostly raised when we speak about FIDown because there are a lot of tools and they are very valuable. They do a lot of things, and I think that they serve probably 90% of the users. But these tools also they come with some limitations. For instance, if you would like to download a certain kind of level of a specific product, you cannot simply do through Google Earth Engine. So
Hmm.
for instance, if you like to access to SLC data, or if you want to go even more a bit in down, if you need to download level 0 data, or if you need to do different kind of analysis to test specific algorithms, uh, in that case, you need to download a large amount of data, of low level data. It's not simply that usually you can do on Google Earth Engine.
Right. So the Google Earth Engine obviously doesn't index all the kinds of levels. You've mentioned that Copernicus does index all of them. What about the format of the data that you get? Is it familiar structures?
There is a difference between this and Google Earth Engine and other tools because they use the stack format. So basically, you have like a sort of mosaic, and you can access different portion of the Earth and simply looking at that.
Mhm.
While feed-down access to the products as they are stored on the Cloudflare servers. It means that each product can be downloaded as it is in its proprietary format of
Mhm.
ISA. So
Right.
you need to process it using the right tools. It's
Mhm.
not ready plug and play, but it also comes with a bit more of metadata and additional information that usually are not self-contained in the GeoTIFF that you can download through other tools. So it
Okay.
gives you really a lot of power to do certain things. But of course, you need to know how to manage properly that products.
Right. Okay. So it will synchronize the data that you want to your local location, but then it's your responsibility to know how to further process it and access it.
Exactly, exactly.
Brilliant. And what kind of uses have people got for Fire Down already?
So scaling up your productivity, for instance. So if you need a chain that autonomously download the newest product gathered by one of the Sentinel missions and autonomously put it in your workflow, you can do that with PhiDown.
Hmm.
Or accessing to low-level products, which are necessary for doing certain kind of analysis.
Mm.
Uh, Other things that you can do is creating datasets, which are very important for the modern world with these data-hungry
Hmm.
algorithms like foundation models. And we know
Hmm.
how many data we need nowadays. It's very easy to download the data on in similar locations or coming and spanning from different sensors.
Hmm. I know that in your own
Um,
research, you've used the level 0 for timeliness. Is that right?
we use Level-0 for different applications. I think there is still a lot of information that we can gather directly from the Level-0 data, and it's still a topic which is underexplored. But
Hmm.
if you think about it, the value that we have is not in the product per se, but is in information that we have in the products, right?
Mm.
So why don't we train deep learning models to extract that information directly at Level-0?
Hmm. Right. And that's exactly what you've done, right?
Yeah, we've done this for several projects, one employing like wildfire detection, another for vessels.
Mm.
We proved this for several missions, including Sentinel-2 and Venus.
Right. So if PhiDown would fit into the workflow that it would enable you to access those products as fast as feasibly possible.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Brilliant. I'm curious, this is quite a recent development. I'm just wondering how you developed it in light of what everyone's doing with LLMs, etc.
Um, how I developed it, that's a good point. Now the workflow is changed a little bit in last years. As you may notice that there are a lot of LLMs and the auto coding are spreading.
Mm.
Um, I think that nowadays everyone is using these tools, but it's very important that someone uses this tool with having knowledge of what it's doing. Because
Hmm.
simply assigning a task to a coding agent won't solve your problem.
No,
But
absolutely.
we can discuss about this, but I think that nowadays everyone is using coding agents.
Hmm. Yeah, it feels like it would be a
And
good use case for it to sort of create this tool to access an API that is already well documented.
yeah, I think that there is someone that asked me to create an MCP to accessing the Copernicus data space ecosystem resources, and maybe I'm gonna do that in the future.
Exciting, right? So this PhiDown is on GitHub. I'm just having a look at its readme now. It's very nicely documented. You've also got an example notebook to get started. So what we're going to do is jump to a separate recording, and we're going to run through that with yourself. That will be on YouTube. Just as we wrap things up here, is there anything else people should know about PhiDown, or if people want to get involved with it, what's your advice?
My advice is to just try it and leave me a message or open a pull request if there is a feature that we really like. I try to put everything on a documentation, so even the attributes that you need to put for searching specific products, but I cannot cover all the use case because I cannot work in all the applications. So really, this project is something that is born from the community, from a community demand, and is done for the community. Okay, so it's really something that I would like to build together with all the community.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you every success with that. All right, with that, we'll wrap things up and move to the next video. So thanks again, Roberto. Hi, Roberto. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so
Um,
moving on to the demo of PhiDown, let's begin with a look at the GitHub page.
okay, at the ISA fill page, you will find the repository of PhiDown. Very importantly, there is a documentation here. Okay, there are some notebook of example, and the package is also hosted on PyPy. So if you want need to install it, you can simply pip install the package,
Hmm.
or you can build from source. So you can go through the documentation and install the package from source.
Hmm.
So at this website, you will find the documentation of PhiDown, okay? Starting from the installation, so are the different things that you need to do for installing, and I recommend PDM for development. And then there is the user guide with the different missions. I'm updating this in my spare time. So and now there is supported Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, and Sentinel-3 missions with the different parameters that one can select. But let's deep down a little bit. So inside the repo, you will find some very important information. One is how to manage your credential. So to access the Copernicus or the space ecosystem data, you need an account. So you go to Copernicus, you register, and then you can access to this website where all your credentials are managed. You will need to create a specific file to interact with PhiDown, but everything is discussed on the documentation. Again, I would like to clarify that contributions are very welcome. Now,
and just to clarify for people that there's no cost to using that service.
No. There are absolutely no fee, no registration, no accounts, no subscription. This package is completely free and you're allowed to download as much as data as you want. The only thing that you need to do is a free registration on the Copernicus Data Space ecosystem. Let me see if there is Okay, so here you will find some basic examples on how to search and go into specific products. But maybe we can showcase maybe a notebook. I can simply open a notebook and show you how to run PhiDown.
Sounds good.
Let me share my Visual Studio Code. Can you see that?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. This is a very simple notebook. You will find it even in the GitHub repo. Here simply we're gonna search and I'm gonna show how to search for different kind of products available in the Copernicus data space ecosystem. Maybe I can make it big. I'm gonna try. Okay.
Looks good.
So the first thing I'm gonna do here is to import the Copernicus data searcher class. Okay. So I'm gonna define an AOI using a polygon VKT. I'm going to initialize the class and I'm going to search for a specific collection. In this case, it's Sentinel-1. So I want all the products belonging to the Sentinel-1 mission. I can specify other things like the product type, orbit directions, and other parameters. In this case, I'm going to just specify the AOI, which if you put none, it will search globally, and start date and an ending date. So different things can be set. Like the number of top results, which is like the maximum amount of results that you want. But I'm working on these features to increase this because right now there is a top limit of 1,000, which is based on the maximum query that you can do. But if you do more queries, you can increase this number. And I'm working on the pagination of this feature. For the attributes, you can select the different attributes that are specific to the mission. So in the case of Sentinel-1, I can specify that I want a processing level, which is level 0. So when I'm going to access to some data, which is usually not available on Google Earth Engine, for instance, or on other providers, but we can access this because it's very, very simple on PhiDown. And I'm going to use it as an operational mode. I'm going to use the strip map mode. So I'm starting the query is going to connect to the data space ecosystem. Okay. And it's going to return me a data frame with all this information. So we're going to have a name with the file name, the product name, an S3 path, which is connected to the S3 bucket storage in the Cloudflare servers, a footprint. So we're going to have a polygon with the coordinate of each one of this product, the date when the product has been captured, and some very specific attributes which are related to this product. So in this case, we are searching for a level 0 strip map. And so here you will find attributes which are specific to level 0 strip map.
Right.
But we can do a bit more. We can search for even Landsat product. Okay. So in this way, I can show you how to get different mission, similar sensors, but different missions.
Hmm.
And this is all the information of the query that we just performed. And something that maybe not everybody knows that you can access through the Copernicus to specific contributing missions. So this spans to even commercial satellites, or usually they are datasets which are closed. So there is not all the data archive of this dataset. So for instance, you will find TerraSAR, COSMO SkyMed, or even very high resolution imagery, which commonly is not accessible. But there is a specific dataset or collections of this data, maybe around Europe collected from a certain year to a certain year, which are accessible through the Copernicus data space ecosystem. And
Right.
thanks to this API, you can access to it, and you can use this very high resolution data. And
Hmm.
even if you need to make a multimodal dataset or a dataset with very, very different resolution, you can use this API to build your dataset over a specific area.
Oh, very interesting. So you could put multiple collections in there and it would look at the intersection, would it?
For looking at the intersection, you will have to look at the geo footprint here, at the
Okay.
polygons. So you first do a query of different product on an area, maybe very big area, or you can decide the AOI.
Hmm.
You have these different queries, okay, these two different data frames, and then you match them, okay? So you find the intersection of the products. I have another notebook to show these features to see how the two products intersect.
Right.
Um, Another thing that you can do with PhiDown is maybe retrieve some information related to a specific product. So maybe you have a product name and you would like to know some metadata or where the product has been captured. You can do this thanks again to the PhiDown and the API exposed by the CDSE. So I can simply specify this name and I can get access to all the information which are contained in the attributes.
Hmm.
And finally, the most important part. So how do we download the product? Simply, everything is performed on the backend. Once you have set the S5 config file, you just need these 3 lines of code, and the product will be downloaded for you.
Right. And presumably you could also just sort of somehow synchronize it to your own S3 bucket.
You can use the S5 commands to synchronize the
Yeah.
specific product that you need on your bucket.
Brilliant. I noticed you have quite a few different sort of guides there. Should we just have a quick scan just so we can get a flavor for everything that's covered?
Sure. You want me to go into something specific?
Just in your documentation page, you list, I think you had maybe a dozen or so different
Right.
sort of
Let me. Okay.
walkthroughs. I'd be curious to have a quick browse of some of those.
Let me go to the documentation. Okay. It will be visible.
Yeah.
I'm sharing. Don't know if you can.
Yeah. So under the examples, you had quite a few, I think.
Yeah.
There we go. So we covered the basic searches, multi-mission search.
There are basic of bench tutorials here.
Yeah.
Many things that you can do and many things that I need to update and modify thanks to the help of the community.
Yeah.
Sometimes I work a little bit with volume just to see maybe where the products are located, how to intersect them. There's
Mm,
many, many things that you can do just simply using a bit of fantasy. Um,
yeah.
I think the very important sections here are the reference guide,
Hmm.
which tells you exactly how to parse and format the queries for getting access to specific product. Because this is very difficult to find inside the documentation of the Copernicus data space ecosystem. You really go into the XML schema to understand which is
Right,
the right attribute to get to the specific product.
right, got it.
Up to now, I don't have everything. So you see here, I've just Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, Sentinel-3.
Mm,
Of course, if you go at the beginning, you will find that there are a lot of products supported. Um, Maybe I put it somewhere here. Yeah. So these are all the products that are supported.
right,
Okay. So it's gonna take me a bit of time to go into all of them.
right. And so the process of onboarding a new product is reviewing the schema and understanding what's available, and then
Yeah, yeah. Let's say that PhiDown is not a product that it's finished. Let's say it's something that is still in development, and the
yeah,
help of the community is required.
yeah. Call to arms, everyone, get on board, please. People are always looking for very high resolution imagery. There's a couple
Yeah,
listed there, right?
yeah, there are something.
Yeah. And of course, now we have this nice tool to visualize what's available. So
Yeah,
hopefully the
yeah.
adoption will pick up as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that this tool is gonna help people to manage and download more data more simply. Because
Hmm.
sometimes I think what stops really researcher and people to do some kind of analysis is really the
Mm,
struggle of getting access to that data. Maybe you need to access to a specific FTP server. You need to compile a form to just giving you the credentials, and it's sometimes it's a
yeah.
struggle.
Yeah, there's so
Um,
much friction, as you say, and I think the more friction there is, the more people you lose along the way. So I think this would be a great tool for the community. Obviously, more people to get involved should get involved and support all of these different missions. It'd be very exciting to see what people can do with that data once it's in a more approachable format.
I
And
strongly believe that if you give people the simplicity to access the data and the information, the magic will happen.
I like that. The magic will happen. I hope so. And thank you for the walkthrough. Hopefully that's going to be useful for people. Let's just briefly show people the link to the GitHub page. It's just PhiDown, isn't it? And we can just leave it there.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you
My
for this
pleasure.
podcast, Robin.
Till next time. Cheers.
See you. Bye bye.